Good evening, and welcome back to the Shadow Nook. This evening we are travelling to London, here in the UK, to a place named Hampton Court Palace. Hampton Court Palace is one of England's most famous royal residences. It is located southwest of London on the Thames. It is known for its ornate Tudor and Baroque architecture, deep royal history connected to Henry VIII, and it has a long-standing reputation as one of the most haunted places in the UK. Beginning with some early construction and history of Hampton Court Palace. It was originally built in 1514 by Cardinal Thomas Wolsey, chief advisor to King Henry VIII. It was originally designed as a lavish residence to reflect Wolsey's wealth and influence. A palatial complex for state events, feasts and diplomacy. Shortly after came Wolsey's downfall. His downfall was part and parcel of his failure to secure Henry's divorce from Catherine of Aragon, which made him fall out of favour with the king. The palace was gifted to Henry VIII in an attempt to regain his favour. Under Henry VIII's ownership, the palace was massively expanded. There were additions such as a great hall, Tudor kitchens, and luxurious royal apartments. Henry VIII used it for political negotiations, marriages and celebrations, and royal births and deaths. Some key events that happened during this time were Queen Jane Seymour, Henry's third wife, died there after childbirth. Many of Henry's marital dramas played out within the walls of this palace. And by Henry's death, Hampton Court was one of his most treasured residences. Following on from the Tudor era was the Stuart era. During this era, the palace was used by succeeding monarchs including Edward VI, Mary I and Elizabeth I. Elizabeth I held lavish celebrations and court events here, and by the 17th century it remained a symbol of royal prestige. In the late 1600s, the palace was partially rebuilt in the Baroque style by architects Sir Christopher Wren and Nicholas Hawksmoor. The vision was to transform the palace into a British Versailles. The result was a mixture of Tudor red brick and elegant Baroque facades. Additions in this era included the Fountain Court, the King's and Queen's State apartments, and magnificent formal gardens. By the 18th century, monarchs preferred other palaces, and in the 19th century, the palace was opened to the public. Today, it is maintained by the Historic Royal Palaces and is a popular tourist location. The palace is now famous for the Hampton Court Maze, the Haunted Gallery, and its long-lasting ghost stories. have a new ghost that I got for Christmas. So let's start discussing the ghost stories at Hampton Court Palace. First ghost is that of Catherine Howard, one of Henry VIII's wives. And it is known as Catherine Howard's screaming ghost. Now, Catherine Howard was Henry VIII's fifth wife, who was accused of adultery in 1541. When she was arrested at Hampton Court, Catherine famously broke free from her guards. She ran down what is now known as the Haunted Gallery, screaming and pleading for Henry to spare her life. She was dragged away and executed shortly after. Since this incident, visitors often report a young woman's piercing screams, sudden cold spots in the gallery, and a female apparition running or reaching out towards the king's apartments. Staff have reported a heavy, sorrowful atmosphere in this corridor. The Screaming Lady is therefore one of Hampton Court's most famous hauntings. Another one of Henry VIII's wives' apparitions is seen at Hampton Court Palace. This one is of Henry's third wife, Jane Seymour, often considered Henry's favourite wife. Jane unfortunately passed away in 1537 after giving birth to Edward VI. Her apparition is said to appear dressed in white, carrying a lamp, most frequently seen on the Silver Stack staircase and near the clock court. Reports describe a pale, glowing figure descending slowly, a calm, sorrowful presence rather than frightening. And legends say she appears on the anniversary of Edward's birth each year. Next we move on to a lesser known spirit, the Grey Lady, also known as Sybil Penn. Sybil Penn was a nurse to Prince Edward, who was later Edward VI. She was a loyal servant to Queen Elizabeth I. Sybil died in 1562 after nursing Queen Elizabeth through smallpox. Her tomb was disturbed in the 19th century during renovations. Ghostly activity began immediately after this disturbance. The activity consisted of persistent sounds of spinning wheels in empty rooms, sightings of a grey-clad woman moving through the older Tudor sections of the palace. She is also one of the palace's longest recorded apparitions. Moving on to the haunted Wolsey rooms. The rooms associated with Cardinal Wolsey are believed to retain his troubled spirit. After his fall from power, he never returned to Hampton Court. Reported activity seen by visitors is of shadowy figures moving across doorways, the sensation of being watched, and cold drafts and sudden discomfort. Some claim a figure in red robes has been seen silently walking the hallways, possibly Wolsey himself, still tied to his former residence. There are also some Gregorian ghosts. These are often seen in the Gregorian apartments, which are said to contain footsteps with no source, disembodied whispers, and heavy door slamming when nobody is nearby. Some apparitions are described as men in powdered wigs, women in 18th century gowns drifting across rooms. Some staff believe the ghosts are former courtiers lingering from the palace's later eras. A more modern haunting, first reported in 2003, is that of the mysterious Skeletor figure. CCTV had captured a robed figure appearing at a fire door. It pulled the heavy door open with visible force. The figure then vanished. No staff in costume were present. Replays of this footage confirmed a physical-looking apparition. Unexplained activity still discussed today. And the apparition was nicknamed Skeletor due to its eerie skeletal silhouette. Some more general reportings are that of phantom music and the King's presence. There are reports throughout the Baroque apartments. Harpsichord or lute music coming from empty rooms. Heavy footsteps pacing near the King's state apartments. And sudden, overwhelming sense of perfume or tobacco. Some guests describe a commanding male presence believed to be linked to Henry VIII. Others think it's later monarchs who walked the same chambers. Hampton Court Palace is a unique blend of Tudor drama, Gregorian refinement, and centuries of ghostly legends. A site where love, betrayal, death, and power struggle have left deep imprints. The past seems to echo through its halls, and the hauntings continue to attract paranormal investigators and curious visitors eager to experience its ghostly reputation. Let me know if you have ever visited Hampton Court Palace, or if you would like to visit. Before you go, we shall do your oracle card reading. We have a new set of cards that I've recently acquired. This is Spirit Animals oracle cards, and I'd like to do the first draw with you today. A beautiful owl design on the back of the cards. As usual, I will draw one card and you can interpret it however you like. Okay. We have nobility. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. Let me know down below what this could possibly mean to you. Thank you for joining me again this evening in the Shadow Nook. Don't forget to collect your subscription on your way out. Sleep well. Good night.